Hi guys! So for today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about my driving test experience. Now, you may be noticing from the thumbnail I'm in a different outfit. I had filmed this whole video and then my files deleted once I'd edited and exported the video, so I no longer have my files or the finished video, so I'm having to refilm it today. But don't worry, these things happen. So basically, I'm just going to start from the beginning, chat to you guys about what happened and why I failed each one, because from the tag, who you have probably seen, it took me 5 attempts at my driving test to pass, and some of them down to my own fault and some of them down to, well, I don't really understand the other faults, but we're just going to go through them today and chat to you about it. So driving test number 1 was at the start of December 2017. This is about 2 weeks before Christmas, and I did all my driving tests in Lincoln Test Centre. So test number 1 came round, I was feeling quite confident, feeling quite positive. I'd had quite a lot of lessons by this point. I'd been driving a lot with my dad to gain confidence and just get more experience. So I've been doing that since August and I'd been feeling pretty confident about my test. I was like, you know what, I think I can do it. So I went down in my instructor's car, had the hour before, and it was all fine. And then on this test we went in one of the test routes in Lincoln, which is quite back roads, quite windy. They're all national speed limit, so 60 roads, and they're all quite windy and bendy, and yeah, they just wasn't very nice roads to drive on, and they were all quite narrow as well. So yeah, I'd had quite a lot of experience on these roads because I live in a village myself, obviously not quite like that, but still knew how to react with it. And we got through the national speed limit bit, and then we got to where it was the village, and in this village obviously it goes to 30, but these roads are still really narrow, still really windy, and basically there was a 4x4 vehicle coming towards me on my side of the road, and obviously it was my right of way because the obstruction of parked cars was on their side of the road, so really they should have stopped and let me go through, but they didn't. And when I came onto that side of the road, there was nowhere for me to go because there's parked vehicles a bit further down on my side, so I couldn't necessarily get through. So, and there was a car behind me, there was a car in front of me, and they'd stopped, and there was just nowhere for me to go, and this vehicle still couldn't get through, and my instinct was to go up the curb because I was like, they can't get through, we're gonna hit cars and I'm gonna bash my instructor's car on my test, and I'm gonna die. So yeah, I panicked a little bit and mounted the curb. So that was fail number 1, which I can understand because it was a valid reason to fail. But I got 9 minors on that test, and my manoeuvre was the pull up on the right and reverse for 2 car lengths, then rejoin traffic. And I did my manoeuvre fine. I didn't get any minors for my manoeuvre. I got both of my show me tell me questions correct. So yeah, I didn't get minor for those. So then rolls on test number 2. This one was in January. I was feeling positive again because I was like, right, it's a new year, I can do this. I only failed on something stupid last time, I can do it. So test number 2, I got a Greek examiner who is known in Lincoln Test Centre to be quite a harsh marker, and if you pass with him, well, you passed, you've done a good pass. So anyway, that rolls around, did test number 2, I got the pull up on the right again, and basically on this test we went towards Newark, and then there's a little flyover over the bypass and can then rejoin the traffic in the bypass on the other side. So we was getting off the roundabout to go onto this Newark bypass, and there was it's a 2-lane roundabout, so there's the left hand lane which goes left and straight on, and then the right hand lane to either go right round the roundabout, but you could technically go straight on because at this roundabout, if I'm looking at it, so the straight on is literally just a field, there's nothing there, so the straight on technically is right round the roundabout. So I indicate to go right, and I went in the right hand lane, and then when I came off this roundabout I was in the fast lane of the bypass because I'd gone at it from the right instead of the left, and it meant that I then needed to indicate to get back in because I obviously wasn't overtaking the cars, and I didn't want to lane hog and etc. So I needed to indicate left to go back into the left-hand lane of this motorway, of this bypass. When I checked and indicated, there was nothing coming, and then this lorry shot past me because it came from like straight on in the left-hand lane, and so I was indicating and I was like going into that lane, and then this lorry appeared, so obviously I had to then go back into this lane, but I didn't signal coming back into this lane, and yeah, it was a big mess. That was not a good test. That one, to be honest, did knock my confidence quite a lot, and by number 3 I hadn't told anybody when my test was, because after the first 2 everyone was like to me, oh, you're gonna pass this next one, like you can do it, like you're gonna pass. And because I had failed 2, so obviously by test number 3 I was feeling quite fed up, I was like feeling quite knocked confidence wise, and I thought like, oh, I can't do it. So anyway, test number 3 comes around. This one was in February. It was exactly like 12 days after my other one, I think. Test number 3 I got a guy who is quite known for harsh marking, and to be honest he just wasn't very chatty compared to like the other 2 that I'd had. So I got in this car, everything was going well. We came up to my end of town, which I felt really confident because I knew the roads, I knew the turnings, I knew the speed limits, that sort of thing. And so we completed the whole test, everything was fine. I got 6- for the whole test, and then we got back to the test centre and my manoeuvre was a reverse bay park. Now, if you know me, you'll know that my parking skills are not excellent, and I hate parking, especially bay parks. And I'd been practising these with my instructor, and it did take me quite a while because I wasn't able to get it in very quickly, and I was like misjudging the gap and the line and stuff. So I picked the bay, which had a curb next to it, because I was like, right, I won't lose the line, I've got something to aim for. And when I did my full lock to the left, my car then went too wide because I did it too quickly. So my car then grazed the white line of the next bay. So I went forwards and came back straight, and I was in the bay, and he failed me for it, saying that I grazed the white line and I was too slow doing it. So that one I was really annoyed about. I did actually put in a complaint because my instructor and 3 other instructors were stood at the door like thumbs up, like they all watched me do it, and they said that was not a fail, that shouldn't have been a fail. So then rolls around test number 4. Now test number 4 didn't go to plan. So we was driving through town down Tritton Road, which is away into the town centre, and then there's the university roundabout, which is a very confusing roundabout. But we got to the junction where, if you live in Lincoln, you'll know this for reference, where the Nosy Park and where you can go to like the range is. And there's 3-lane junction, so there's left hand and straight on as the left lane, the middle lane was straight on, and the right hand lane was right only. And the lights had just turned to green, and like there was no one in front of me, so I went in the middle lane because the 2 cars in the left hand lane were indicating to go left and the lights were on green. So I was like, well, I can go. So I went, but I should have been in that left hand lane, because then it meant that 2 cars undertook me, which is where they overtake you but on the inside lane as opposed to the outside lane, which is, may I add, illegal. So not happy about that fail. And I was doing 40, which was the speed limit, so they must have been doing well above. So I didn't really understand why I failed that, because, sorry, but who sits behind a learner driver? Like, nobody does. And yeah, so I failed that one, got back to the test centre. My manoeuvre was a reverse bay park again, and I got my bay park in one. Now, can we just get a little round of applause, because I don't think that will ever happen again in my life. I couldn't believe it. I was like literally sat there like, oh my god, I've done it. And the guy was like, do you want your instructor here for your results? And I said yeah, because you know, I was feeling quite positive, like I did that bay part well. And yeah, my instructor came over and he was like, well, I'm sorry to say that you failed because of your you was in the wrong lane at the junction. So at that one, again, I was very frustrated, and I actually had to go to work straight after. So I was like sat in my instructor's car bawling my eyes out because I was just so frustrated at this point. I was like, I'm doing all these tests, I'm doing all these lessons, and I just keep failing. So then I had 12 days, because you have to have 12 days to retake your test. I actually had quite a big gap because there wasn't any test dates like nearer. So I actually booked my next one on a Sunday, which was Sunday 8 today. I think it was the 4th of March. Yeah, Sunday the 4th of March 2018 was supposed to be my 5th test. But it got cancelled because of the snow. Now, they did not let us know that this got cancelled, so me and my dad's car down, because I was doing it in my dad's car this last time because I had run out of so much money by doing these tests and I just had no money left to do it in my instructor's car. So I did it in my dad's car. I got like obviously L plates and the mirror, the interior mirror for the examiner. So I was doing it in my car, we went down there and yeah, the roads were fine, did a few test routes and the roads were clear. So then we got to the test centre because I was doing an 8:10 test, so wait no I wasn't, I was doing a 9:07 test, so we got to the test centre about 8:30 just to check that the test was on and there was no one there. So I was like, well maybe they aren't doing the 8:10 test. So we went round, did a bit more driving, came back about 10 to 9 and the gates were bolted up, there was no one there was no one answering the answer machine. So by about 20 past 9 we then went home and we wrote an email and rang the test centre complaining. I managed to get a 3-day short test, so I got a test on Thursday the 8th of March and I did it in my dad's car and I passed with 6 minors I think, I'm not too sure, my sheet's somewhere. But yeah, I passed this one. So we did the same test route as the one that I did the first time and I actually had the same examiner that failed me on my Bay Park, so I was a bit like nervous, like oh he's a harsh marker. So I wasn't that keen on him straight away, but he passed me so it's alright, you know. And there was only one point on the test where I thought I'd failed and that was purely because he asked me to go right and I went left. I don't know why. I also thought I could have failed because I went through loads of potholes because I couldn't avoid them and there was rain, it was quite heavily raining and the rain had like collected in these potholes so I couldn't always see them. I thought I'd failed on that again, so I made a little joke and I was like, oh there's a lot of potholes on this road isn't there? Like just trying to lighten up the situation. And then we got near to the test centre and he was like, right, can you pull up behind this red car? I did, and then he was like, I want you to go parallel to that car and do a reverse parallel park around it, leaving at least within 2 car lengths. That was what he said. So I did it and I'd done one that morning, so I already knew what I was doing, and so I did it, but I was a little bit wide to the curb and he looked at it and he was like, are you happy with that? I was like, yeah, can I square it up if I go forwards? And he was like, that's for you to make that decision, like really mardy with me. So I went forward, squared it up, I was closer to the curb and then I put my handbrake on, went to neutral. And he was like, right, if you want to reverse to give yourself enough room to pull away and then do so when it's safe. So I did that and then we went into the test centre and he was like sat for ages like with his pen, like just jotting things down on his sheet, and he was like, well you've passed. I was like, what, are you joking? Or at least sound a little bit happy for me, you know? And yeah, so I passed this one with 6 minors and I'm so happy to finally be able to drive my car that's been sat on my sat in my garage for the past 5 months. So I'm quite happy. But yeah, what I wanted to do, I wanted to make this video because all the ones that I watched of these before I did my test, they were of people that had passed on like the 1st or 2nd go, where I passed on my 5th go, and I know I really liked watching these before each test, see other people's experiences and like what they failed on. And yeah, I just wanted to make this video to say that if you are on your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever test number you are on, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And honestly, don't let anybody tell you that you're a bad driver and you'll never be able to drive, because trust me, you will. And the day that you get that blue certificate saying that you've passed will be the happiest and proudest day of your life. I could have cried, I was that happy. I think I did cry when I got home. I was just so happy, and when you get to go out in your car for the first time by yourself, like, it is just the best feeling. I just wanted to make this video to help you guys out there. I'm also going to leave some channels down below of driving instructor YouTube channels which I found really helpful to watch. They had some great tips, especially on bay parking, parallel parking, all them sort of things. They really helped me and I think they'll help you guys. but I have been learning since August, and I honestly do think that the main thing that got me through my test has made me the confident driver that I am now. The fact that I went out with my dad in his car with L plates on, and it just built up my confidence, and it meant that I didn't have to pay for loads of lessons, just driving around doing things that I could already do. I'd definitely recommend that if you've got a parent or a guardian that could do that for you guys. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, leave them down below and I'll make sure to reply back to you. Or if you ever want to have a chat to me about anything, my inboxes are always open on my social medias, which are always linked down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and click the subscribe button down below if you are new to my channel. It would honestly mean the world to me. And yeah, this week on my channel we are doing a video every day for 7 days, so keep tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!